Hello and welcome to the Eastern Idaho planning briefing for Tuesday, the last day of March. Here's a summary of what you're going to see in this presentation. We have a winter weather advisory, also a wind advisory that's continuing into the early evening hours today. Also today, we expect some isolated thunderstorms possible this afternoon, mostly in the central Idaho mountains and along the Idaho-Montana border region. It'll be very windy in the eastern Magic Valley. As I mentioned before, there is a wind advisory out for it, and the Snake River Plain through this afternoon. And with it, you can expect some localized blowing dust, especially if it doesn't rain a whole lot in that location before the winds get there. And expect colder temperatures Wednesday through Friday with scattered rain and snow showers continuing. And I will say this, the forecast starting, especially by Saturday, usually we are highly confident if the various computer models that we have several actually that go out during that time. If there's good agreement, we're pretty confident of the forecast, but that is not the case starting this weekend, and so it's a low confidence forecast that far out, just to warn you in advance. So here's the latest satellite image. You can see the shower and thunderstorm activity here as we step through this time lapse. That will be moving through sort of give us our second shot. The low itself is somewhere here in eastern Washington, and that will be sliding through during the day and into tonight as well. So here's our weather impact. The snow will be wrapping up primarily for the most part by 6 p.m. and then there's a chance of snow for most locations here for Tuesday night. Again, rain is likely down in the Snake River Plain and Magic Valley, and in the South Hills, the snow will remain above 5,500 feet. So the snow level is actually coming down. That's why you see nothing but snow mentioned in the highlands along our Montana border and in the central Idaho mountains. By Wednesday, the significant snowfall is done. We just have weak low pressure sort of sitting over the Great Basin, and that's producing what we call a lot of convergence down in the lower levels, which means a chance for precipitation and cloudiness, and that is certainly the case. Where exactly it falls, I mean, we'll go through the slides and I'll show you locations, some of the more likely locations, but it really could end up being anywhere over the area, some places more likely than others. Obviously, the higher the elevation, probably the better chance you have as well. Thursday, again, continued chances to slight chances, and even in the eastern highlands. Further north you get towards the Montana border, the more likely the snow is. And the eastern highlands on Thursday is one place in the afternoon where it looks pretty good for additional snow. By Friday, it's down to slight chances for most locations, and that wouldn't start until Friday afternoon and into Friday night. So there's actually kind of a break here for Thursday night for a lot of locations, especially late Thursday, and then into Friday morning. And then Saturday, like I said, there's not a high degree of confidence in this forecast, but everywhere we look, it's not going to be dry, say that much. There should be a chance of snow pretty much every location. Hopefully this will reconcile itself in the next couple of days, and we'll have a better handle on that forecast. All right, so how is the snow going to evolve today? This is this morning between 6 a.m. and noon. We are expecting continued light snow. You see it's all below, there's no accumulations more than 4 to 6 inches, and most of that's in the high elevations here in the central Idaho mountains. Maybe a little bit here in front of the Tetons, but otherwise it's mostly up to 4 in those locations. That's going to continue. You see Stanley down to 1 to 2 left over, Sun Valley 1 to 2, and Haley kind of more of a trace there, I think. For this afternoon, again, it continues to fall. Fairly good, but tapering off a little bit, and temperature's warm, and so you see the snow level actually rose a little bit, especially in the central Idaho mountains, and a lot of it went away down here in our southeast corner. So this is the forecast through 6 p.m. for the rest of the day. We are looking at 6 to 8 inches total. You can see it does sort of get close to Galena Summit. So you might expect the heaviest snow there, obviously. And the total today for Stanley, 3 to 4, Sun Valley, 1 to 2. Haley, trace amounts when you get that far south. So there's a huge difference between Sun Valley and Haley today. All right, for this evening, snowfall will start to lighten up here considerably. This is from 6 p.m. until midnight. You can see most locations only 1 to 2 inches in the high elevations, and on the road beds, really only Teton Pass is going to see, 1 to 3 inches or so. All the other passes are pretty much down to an inch or less. And then late tonight after midnight, pretty much it's all relegated to areas from the Snake River Plain eastward. The sole exception being down here in the foothills around Oakley and the Goose Creek drainage. All right, so on Wednesday, this is what the weather pattern will look like. You can see just this weak low pressure with the really good fronts all through us and just sort of allowing some scattered snow. We will be cold enough where snow at all elevations, especially in the morning hours. Down in lower elevations, it will change over to rain, so they don't really show that here, that there is, down here in the Snake River Plain, there should be some mixed precipitation, but it won't amount to much. You'll see here. So tomorrow morning, again, just sort of light snow. You do see it encroaching into Rexburg and Idaho Falls. Most other locations stop by the afternoon. The only place where the snowfall continues in the Snake River Plain really is Rexburg North. You see it does sort of rebound a little bit here in the mountains, but again, that's 1 to 2 inches. And most of that is not on Galena Summit, although there is, except for Galena Summit, it stays off the roads. And then tomorrow evening, it really starting to die down here, widespread, an inch or less, and obviously most Snake River Plain, nothing going on with the exception of places north and east of Idaho Falls. And then late Wednesday night, even less. So the 24-hour total, again, light snow for most locations. Again, as usual, the trouble places will be Pine Creek Pass and Teton Pass here, and even Reynolds and Targhee Pass as well. And just to give you a heads up for Thursday, again, some light snow. We're staying cool, so it's very much more like winter than it is spring here, with the amount of snow that's expected to fall. You see lots of locations not getting anything during that 24-hour period. The other thing to watch out for, as I mentioned, was wind. We have a wind advisory in effect until 6 p.m. You can see here the yellow is basically 30 to 35 mile an hour winds over quite an area. It does expand during the afternoon, and even some places getting into the mid 30s, above 35. And then by this evening, this is after 6 p.m., you can see it's very limited and it's in the area and it's beginning to die down. That's all I have. If you have any further questions, you can always contact us at this telephone number or check out the weather yourself at weather.gov/Pocatello. Thanks for watching.